Hey guys, Monochrome here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Genuinely good to have you. First off, this is not going to be a review of either one of the two products you see in front of you. Second off, the video that I planned on giving you guys this week, it's been delayed by a week because the other day YouTube decided to recommend a video to me, and when I was done watching it, I was seriously ticked off. For clarification, it's not a full-length video, it's a short video, or just plain shorts on YouTube. And yeah, this is my first ever React video on my channel, but because I'm reacting to a shorts video, there's not going to be a small box in a corner or anything like that. Seriously, guys, I don't normally do this, but go check out the link in the description box below. It will take you to a short video titled "How I Stay Safe While Living in My Van" on the Yak YouTube channel. And I believe her name is actually Sarah Yak. It has 3.5 million views. And apparently Sarah disabled the comments. And I think I know why. So, since I can't leave any good advice for her on her shorts, yeah, I'm making a video about it. Please, seriously, go watch that very short video and then come back here and I'm going to tell you everything that's wrong with it. Yeah, I can't believe YouTube recommended that shorts to me. And it ticked me off so much that I was like, you know what? No, I got to make a video on it now. So yeah, go check it out. I'll wait for you guys. You guys back? Okay, cool. Let's start off with the very first thing. Well, let's start off with the main thing. This is a young woman who is horribly delusional when it comes to self-defense. She is. Let's start off with the surveillance cameras on her van. Now, surveillance cameras are a good thing. However, you cannot rely on surveillance cameras on your home, and her van is her home. You can't rely on surveillance cameras alone. They are a passive self-defense measure. Passive. They're just cameras. They don't do anything to actually physically protect you from a determined violent attacker. It's passive self-defense measures, meaning it's a good thing to have, and it might give you a few seconds of early warning to grab a weapon and be ready to protect yourself. But it is a passive self-defense measure, not an active one, not a direct one, passive. And passive self-defense measures will not stop a determined attacker by themselves. But she acts as though, hey, this is good enough. And oh, by the way, I have a couple of other precautions I take. So let's take a look at those as well. She has an alarm on her keys for lights controlling the perimeter of the van, and apparently a separate button that's an alarm on her van. Okay, again, Lights and alarms or noisemakers, passive, passive. Something like that might stop a petty thief from reaching inside, stealing something. They're not going to stop a determined attacker. Okay, big deal. You have lights on your van. Honestly, lights, especially a good flashlight, I mean, you can use that as a passive measure. Hey, these streets are horribly crowded. I'm exhausted. I want to get back to my hotel room. Let me cut across this dark alley like a freaking moron. Or let me take my light, shine it down the alley, see if maybe there's someone there in the shadows waiting for a dumbass to pass through, like a dumbass tourist. Again, passive, useful. Light is useful. It will not stop a determined attacker, especially if you're a young, attractive woman, or hell, even if you're a young, ugly woman living alone in a van. Not down by the river, but living alone in a van by yourself. And that's the other thing. Noisemakers on a van, oh, a car alarm. And we all know what most of us think of car alarms in this day and age. We freaking hate them. And we hate the people who put them on their vehicles. Now, if you have a car alarm that switches off after a few seconds and stays off, you're good. If you have a car alarm that switches off immediately after you get in your vehicle and close the door, you're good. If you have a car alarm that won't stop going off, you know what? No one's coming to help you. They're not coming to help you. They're going to wish that something horrible happens to you so that the police can come and tow your freaking vehicle away out of their neighborhood. And here's the thing with van life that I've learned doing my research. Most individuals typically park their vans or their RVs or their trailers or whatever they're using in out-of-the-way areas because there are ordinances in place within city limits in a whole heck of a lot of jurisdictions in America that prevent them from parking on public streets overnight and sleeping in their vehicles. So guess what? Person typically living out of their van or RV is going to intentionally park in secluded areas so they can be left alone by the police and be able to get some sleep. Well, if you're parked in an out-of-the-way area and there's some determined attacker coming after you because you're a young woman, yeah, who's going to hear that damn alarm? You and your violent attacker, and no one else. So yeah, brilliant. Nice noisemaker on your van. But she has parental tracking. That's right, parental tracking, so her parents know exactly where she is as she's traveling all over the country. Well, that's wonderful. Your parents have tracking. That's great. That means when you get violently attacked, brutalized, or possibly even raped, your parents will know exactly where to come and claim you or your body instead of waiting around for a phone call from the police. Parental tracking, it's not even a passive self-defense measure. It's like, hey, my parents know exactly where I am. That's great. You're 2 states away. What the hell are they going to do? Call the police in your area? Okay, it's going to take the police some time to show up. So your parents know where you are. They physically can't do a damn thing to help you except pick up the phone, call the police, and hope the police will get there before your rapist is done killing you or brutalizing you. Brilliant. And keep in mind, she's talking about all of these measures with a giant smile on her face, full of confidence that she's protected. I'm sorry, but whoever her father is, and this is just my humble opinion, you did a garbage job raising your daughter. You really did. Yes, teach your children, including your daughters, that they can be whatever they want to be in life, but caution them, hey, physically, you're not as strong as the average man. And there are some men out there who will physically take advantage of you because they can. Whoever this young woman's father is, and this is just my humble opinion, wow, you did a garbage job raising your daughter. You raised her with tons of unwanted self-confidence. Great job doing that, Daddy. Okay, and she has a satellite phone so that, again, she can contact her parents so they don't worry about her. Yeah, you got a satellite phone. Very nice. I guess she could use it to contact the police in an emergency. Hope they get out there in time. Yeah, again, passive. Not active, not direct, passive self-defense measure. Maybe if she has that satellite phone in her hand and a rapist comes through her van door, she could try to use it to bash him upside the skull with it. Although I seriously doubt that. And let's talk about the weapons that she has. Did you guys see what she was showing off on that big, massive key ring? Okay, one of her so-called weapons is a personal alarm, a freaking noisemaker. That's not a weapon. A little tiny thing on your key ring with a large button that you can press and it makes noise, that's not a weapon. Here's the thing. If you guys learn nothing else from this video, learn this. You cannot, it is literally impossible for you to defend yourself against an attacker without hurting your attacker. Literally, physically impossible. Learn that if you learn nothing else. A personal alarm is not going to hurt your determined attacker. Not happening. Therefore, it's not a weapon. But this young lady seems to think it is, and she's showing it off as one of her weapons. No, it's a noisemaker. It might scare away some petty little mugger who wanted your wallet. Maybe. Realistically, it's not going to do anything against a determined attacker who wants to brutalize you or rape you. It's not going to do a damn thing except annoy him. And again, van life, you probably intentionally parked in a very secluded area to not be harassed by people walking by or the cops driving by. So there you go. A noisemaker. This young woman thinks a freaking personal noisemaker is a weapon. No. Here's the thing. You don't have to break an attacker's bones in order to effectively defend yourself. But you have to hurt your attacker in order to effectively defend yourself. Spray him in the face with pepper spray. You've hurt him. Stab him. You've hurt him. Shoot him. You've hurt him. You're not really trying to hurt them, you're trying to stop them. But you can't stop them without at least hurting them. A personal noisemaker alarm is not going to hurt an attacker. That's the problem. And speaking of pepper spray, yeah, she has a small canister of it on her keyring. Smaller than this one. And yes, it can be effective. But here's the thing that most people have no freaking clue about. There is a technique to using it properly. And if you think that technique is, okay, I'm going to stand here, he's in front of me, I'm just going to spray him and he'll instantly crumble to the ground and cry for his mommy. No. You know what he's going to do? He's going to put his head down, he's going to charge forward. That's called the bum's rush. And it works because most people just stand there in front of him. He doesn't need to see in order to tackle you, to get on top of you and start throwing punches or brutalizing you, because most people who use pepper spray stand there like idiots after having sprayed someone and they don't move off of that center line. So what happens? Attacker gets sprayed, now he's pissed off, he puts his head down, he charges forward, he tackles you, he gets on top of you. How was he able to do that? Well, he doesn't need to see to remember that you were standing in front of him. There you go. There is a technique to using pepper spray. I seriously doubt this young woman knows what it is. And in the cramped confines of her van, if someone gets in there, she's not going to be able to move off of that center line in order to avoid the bum's rush, in order to avoid him getting on top of her. Not in that cramped little van of hers, not happening. So, okay, the closest thing she has to a weapon is a little canister of pepper spray on her keyring. Pepper spray can be useful, not if you don't know the right freaking technique to use it, and most people don't. They don't. You don't just stand there, spray at someone, expect them to crumble to the ground, screaming in agony and pain, and then you just stand where you are triumphant. No, it doesn't work that way. There's reality and there's fantasy, and this young woman is full of fantasy. Yeah, I know exactly why she disabled her comments. She probably had real self-defense practitioners trying to correct her on her delusions of, hey, I'm good. No, you are not good. You are a victim waiting to happen. And part of it has to do with that huge amount of false self-confidence you have that you are prepared to defend yourself. I mean, she even says it at the very end, where she feels extremely safe. Well, that's great. You can feel whatever you want to feel. You are not safe. You are delusional. And that's coming from someone who is a self-defense practitioner and has been for decades. You feel safe. You feel extremely safe living by yourself in a van. That's great that you feel safe. You are not safe. Okay? Huge difference between how you feel and how you are. You might feel safe. You are not safe. No, you are extremely not safe. And going back to something she brought up right before the end, she said she's had 2 years of training in self-defense classes. What kind of miserable armchair warrior, know-nothing idiot, or miserable con artist did you go to? Seriously, This is a young woman who thinks that noisemakers, lights, tracking, and she thinks all of this stuff will keep her safe from a determined attacker. Oh my God, whoever trained you was incompetent as hell, or a con artist, or maybe she went to a traditional martial arts school. I mean, if you've had training for 2 years, that's most likely it. You went to a traditional martial arts school where they taught you fantasy bullshit. They didn't teach you reality. That's most likely what happened. I do not know where she went to for 2 years of training, but I can tell you with my decades of experience that whoever trained her was an incompetent moron, a con artist, or a traditional martial arts teacher who believes his own bullshit. Now, traditional martial arts do have their place, especially for fitness and for building up confidence if an individual doesn't have it. But oh my goodness, this young woman has so much delusional self-confidence. It is scary. It is so horrible that I made a video about it. Seriously, whoever trained her, no. Her self-defense training is garbage. It is worthless. It's going to get her seriously hurt, raped, or killed. Guys, I don't know what to say. YouTube recommended that short video, and it ticked me off so much I made my own video about it. Probably wouldn't have made the video if I could have left a comment and tried to warn her. But obviously other individuals who are for real tried to warn her. She didn't like it, so she disabled comments. And that's the worst part. When you refuse to listen to people who know more than you do, it's like when you're going to be full of false self-confidence and you're that closed-minded that you think, oh, I'm good when it comes to self-defense. No. Sarah Yak is a young woman who is not good when it comes to self-defense. She feels extremely safe living in her van. She is not safe. This young woman is a victim waiting to happen. She really is. And it's unfortunate that I can't get through to her. Hopefully I've gotten through to you guys. Honestly, guys, stay safe out there. Please take care. It is definitely dangerous. And for God's sake, if you're a young woman, don't go living in a van by yourself. Come on.